episode of Musings podcast. I'm your host Gungu Mildred, and I'm so happy that you've joined me on another Wednesday for an amazing episode. So, before I get into today's movie, which is a very long movie, it was actually 2 hours and 23 minutes, but worth it. I tell you, so worth it. I just have to give a disclaimer. There's some construction that is happening outside our apartment. I don't know why exactly because I can't go outside. It's too cold to go outside to check. But it's 1:17 a.m. and there's construction happening. Something is being drilled or something. I don't know. So if you hear the noise in the background, just understand there's nothing I can do about it. I was supposed to record this yesterday because that's when I watched the movie and it was quiet. But I stayed up too late watching Love Spell. Sortilegio. So yeah, it's being repeated somewhere. And I stayed up watching it. And I don't know, by the time I was done, it was already 2 a.m. And I was so sleepy. I was tired. I just felt fatigued. I think emotionally and mentally. So I just went to bed. And for the first time, I slept early because I've been sleeping pretty late the past couple of weeks. I've been sleeping at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. But yesterday, I think it just caught up to me and I went to bed not feeling so okay, but I went to bed at 2 a.m. So yeah, I couldn't record yesterday. So today, I was like, okay, let me record it and then record the one for Saturday, edit them tomorrow because I need to be done with them by Tuesday so that today's show can come today and then, blah, blah, blah. And then I need to also watch this week. I need to watch 2 or 3 more movies, record them, and just start working on them and see if I can have them ready for the next month or so. I know I keep saying that, but I want to try. It's always good to try, okay? I want to try. I'm not sure if it's going to happen, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to go straight into today's movie. I'm going to try and shorten the synopsis as much as possible because, as I said, 2 hours 23 minutes. I don't want it to last that long. So I'm going to try and then we'll see what happens. Okay, so on today's episode, I'm going to be giving a review of the Nigerian movie Behind the Scenes. Behind the Scenes is a 2025 Nigerian movie written by Funke Akindele, Uche Modi, and Collins Oko. It's directed by Funke Akindele and Tunde Olaoye and produced by Funke Akindele and Wendy Imaswen. Hope that's how you say those names. If it's not, I'm so sorry. The cast members include Scarlett Gomez, she plays Aderonke Fernandez. Funke Akindele plays Adetutu Fernandez. Toby Bakre plays Adewale Fernandez. Uzo Arukwe plays Victor Osai. Ini Dima Okoje plays Segilola Fernandez, that is Adewale's wife. Mr. Macaroni plays Johnson. Destiny Etiko plays Oluchi. Iyabo Ojo plays Alero. Ibrahim Chata as Azif, amongst other cast members. Now, if you love spoilers like me, continue listening to this, continue watching this. If you do not like spoilers, I'd urge you to leave right now. Go to Netflix, watch the movie Behind the Scenes, and then come back and tell me if you agree with me or not, because this is official spoiler alert. This movie follows this beautiful woman called Aderonke, aka Ronke. Ronke is like, how in a family you'll find that there's one person who's more blessed financially than others. And so in the African communities, like black tax. So she has paid enough black tax to her family men. So we start with her. She's helping out her family. So I don't want to go step by step, but because honestly, I don't even remember what the first scene was. But yeah, so Aderonke has been helping her family members do everything. Her husband passed on 5 years ago, and so since the husband died, she has taken over the company. So I'm not sure if she was always the one who was leading the company or if she took over from the husband after his passing, but she has been doing a good job. She has her best friend since childhood, that is Victor Osai. They've been helping each other over and over again, and I think Alero is the one who's married to Victor. So Victor is a lawyer, and he's been helping her. So they're always seen together. If she's going to sign deals, if she's doing anything regarding the company, if she's just spending time, because she loves chess, she plays it with Victor, she plays it with other people. And her children also, because she has two children. So her children also like playing against each other. She has these two house managers. This is a chef and a house manager, Mr. Johnson and Oluchi. They help with the housework. So Mr. Johnson, he cooks, and Oluchi helps with the children and the rest of the housework. And they have a driver who, I believe that was a Fizz, or if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they have a driver. This woman has been helping her entire family ever since they were children. So she helped educate her sister and her brother, and her brother refused to finish high school, so he never went to college. He doesn't have any degree or anything. So she's the one who's supporting him and his wife and his two children, a boy and a girl. And then there's the sister, who is Funke, who is Adetutu Fernandez. This one is just like the devil herself. This one, she finished school, yes, but when she was supposed to go to uni, she didn't go to school. Instead, she got pregnant and used the money that the sister gave to her to do I don't know what. And then when she got pregnant, she gave birth to twins. We never met the twins' father, but they were twin girls. And again, the whole thing fell on Aderonke's hands. She had to take care of them. So these family dynamics are just crazy. She's always working. She's always doing ABCD. And she has these two best friends, female ones, apart from Victor and I think Alero. These friends have been depending on her for everything as well. So she has helped them start businesses. She has helped them when the business go down. She helps them get back on their feet again. So like she has been there for everybody around her, so much so that she forgets about herself. There's this moment where the sister-in-law asks the son to call her, to pretend like, he took the phone without the mom's knowledge, and he called Ronke to ask her for an iPhone. And I'm like, okay. And she goes like, yeah, you're my son. Of course I'm going to do it. And then the mom walks away from the phone and the kid, and she pretends, where are these children? And then she goes to her and she starts talking to him as if she doesn't know who he's talking to on the phone and stuff. And then she actually tells Ronke that, oh, there's this phone that I know a friend of mine who is working on this, blah, 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 and he's charging 2 million naira or something. And I know, like, you hear a million and you're like, oh my God. But the Nigerian currency is almost the same as the Tanzanian currency and the Ugandan currency. So, like, you hear a million, you might think it's a lot of money, but it's not. Like, when you compare it to the dollar, it's not that. But, like, it was a crazy amount of money, which after Aderonke sent the money, she went and bought a wig worth 1 point something million naira. And then she goes to her house, Ronke's house, and she starts harassing the chef and Oluchi, telling them how they're just the staff and they're not family. And she starts like giving Johnson like a menu. So like, I will have what is that rice they like called? The one that looks like pilau. That rice that Nigerians like, I'm sorry, oh my God. And she orders for that, orders something different for the husband, and orders something different for the kids, for her kids. And then the daughter comes and goes like, "No, mommy, I want this." The chef has to make that, and also like ice cream in your sister-in-law's house. And then she saw these two vases that were so beautiful, and she was like, she went to the husband, was like, I need this, I'm going to borrow them from her. So apparently her thing was to borrow and borrow and borrow all the time. So when she says that, the husband goes like, what, you want to ask permission to take something from my sister's house? Just take them, she'll replace them. And I'm like, the audacity of these people. Like, I'm not going to pretend that I do not borrow. I've borrowed my share amount of, the past 4 years that I've been jobless. So I'm not even going to criticize, but no, I've never wasted. These people, they keep borrowing from the sister who keeps sacrificing and sacrificing, working hard for them, only for them to be like, just take whatever you want. She's going to replace it. And lying using their kids and all of this, like all of them, they were just nasty. So on the side, Johnson and Oluchi, the house manager and the chef, they were in love. but they hadn't told her because there was this rule in the house where she had given them that they should not be dating because they work together, but they were doing things under the water, chini ya maji, that is. And so they went for their traditional wedding. Afiz, I think he was the driver, found out because one of the people who had been invited to this traditional wedding had taken a photo and posted it on Facebook. So he saw it and came to try and blackmail them or something. And Johnson was like, "You're not going to do that to me. I won't accept it. Get out of my room," and stuff like that. So while this is happening, Aderonke had been getting sick. She had been feeling weak. She didn't have appetite, but she didn't take care of herself. She didn't go to the hospital and stuff. She just kept taking it and taking it and taking it. Oluchi used to massage her feet, which would help relieve the pain because she'll be like, after standing for too long, that's why my feet are swollen. And so Oluchi would massage them, but it didn't get better. She was supposed to go to the hospital. She kept saying, "It's just malaria. I'll go to the doctors. I'll be okay," until she finally fainted. Before she fainted, before everything just went south, her friends had come to visit her a couple of times. Of course, Victor kept telling her to stop giving money to everybody because the sister had just asked for money because her twin daughters were supposed to go to Turkey for uni, and the sister-in-law had asked for, I don't know, money for I don't know what else, and the brother wanted to start this new project because he kept starting projects but that never finished. And so she was like stretched thin. And then she had this the company she had was a construction company, if I'm not mistaken. So they had just bought this land, cleared paying all the people the money that was supposed to be paid for the licenses, bribed a couple of people so that everything can be on time, and they were supposed to break ground or something. And then there are these people who started harassing her. And they were like taxi drivers, like those, what are they called? I call them taxi, but they're tuk-tuks. So they're taxis, of course, but tuk-tuks. So I think where they used to park or something, she bought part of that land. So they were kicked out. So they kept coming to harass them, saying they want to be paid. And she went to confront them. And they were like, oh, she called the area chief to come and sort things out. They ran away. And then later on, we are shown that she's there, she's crying because there are dead bodies on that land, which means that land will have to be closed so that they can start an investigation. And then they asked for 230 million naira so that they can be able to clear that issue before they take it to court and blah, blah, blah. Like, it was just chaotic. And I'm like, why are you paying? After all of these things, like, everything was coming to her and she just felt like, So she fainted and she was rushed to the hospital. She came back home and it was found out that she had lupus. So it's an autoimmune disease. There's no cure for it. And so she started suffering. Slowly by slowly, she had these, they're not pimples, like these scars on her body. That's what I can call them. And they were like open and stuff. It was just bad. Her face was looking terrible. She was supposed to be taking medication, but I believe she wasn't. Or she was at first and then she stopped. So her sister, when this news came out, she was there crying, and the sister and the brother were arguing because they're like, God is not going to take you. You are the breadwinner of this family, blah, blah, blah. All of these things. Then the sister moves into the house. That is Adetutu. She moves into the house, supposedly to take care of her sister, Ronke. And so while she's there, she cooks and she cleans and she does what? She's iced Johnson out, and she's also made Oluchi feel like she's not wanted in that space. So she's the one who's sort of taking over everything. And then one time she's massaging the sister's feet when the brother comes in, shouting at her and telling her that she's the worst liar of all times because she's there pretending to be taking care of Aderonke, but that's not what she's actually doing. She keeps asking money from Aderonke, but she just bought like an apartment somewhere else. And the daughters, the twin daughters, because they were old enough, they were older because they were going to uni. So, but the others, Aderonke's kids and Adewale's kids, they were still young. So the twins were the ones who were like older, college age. Yeah. So the daughters were on Instagram showing the house and saying their mom told them to show it to people and stuff like that. So the sisters tries to argue and say like, no, it's not my apartment. I did not buy it. I bought it for you, because I wanted you to know that I wanted to surprise you. And of course, Ronke is shocked. And she goes like, so when are you supposed to show me this house? When are you supposed to tell me, is the title in my name or is it in yours? And all of this. And of course, Adetoro tries to go like, no, I wanted to surprise you at some point. It is in my name, but I was going to change it and stuff. And she cries and pretends and fakes everything. And so Ronke gets upset, but she cries. She's supposed to understand because she's the person who understands everybody in the family. And so she tells the sister, it's fine, don't worry about the hug. But the brother, I think that was his turning point when he saw what Adetutu had been doing. And I think he started shifting slowly from that moment on. Actually, I think from the moment they knew that the sister was sick. So because of all of these things, Ronke decides to come up with a plan to pretend to fake her death and then put cameras all over her house, leave the children behind, and see, just to find out the truth about everybody that was around her, because everybody was siphoning from her, and she felt like they were the same people who were also like backstabbing her. So she fixed it with the help of Victor and his wife. And these people, so Victor is a lawyer. Alero, I think that's her, is she works in production and she can create anything like in film, I think film production. And so she created this mannequin that looked like her and they painted it, blah, blah, blah. They saw that it fainted in the room, took it to the doctors. They made a set that looked like a hospital, and so people came and they cried, blah blah blah. They buried this thing that looked like a deronke, and everybody was crying. So she left a will behind, a video, and on that video she was like, do not tell my children that I've died until they turn 18. And I remember watching that part and I was like, what the hell? Like, you would rather that your children think that you neglected them and ignored them for the rest of their life, because they were less than 10 years, I think. So you'd rather that they do that, or at least, even if it's 10, it's 10, 11, but I think they were less than that. So you'd rather them think for the next 10 years that their mom left them alone with these family members who are going to mistreat them, instead of them knowing that you died, because that would have been better. They would cry, they would move on knowing that, yeah, mommy is dead, daddy is dead. But then I was like, unless she's faking her death, because the way she loves her children, there's no way she would do that to them. And yeah, because that part that I said she was faking, that we came to know later. Because by this time she was dying and everything, I thought, yeah, she's dead. And I was just going like, oh, the kids, hope somebody's going to take care of them. And then when that video was being shown of her talking about what is going to happen next, I was like, no, 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 no. She couldn't have done that unless she was faking it. And yeah, later on we found out that she was faking her death and the friends had helped her do it. So she's in this room that is covered and the windows have like this tinted thing, like a curtain all over the room that has holes around the windows just to bring in some light. And I'm like, why? That is so messy. Like, just go in an apartment somewhere, live your life properly with the videos, like watching what is happening in your house, instead of hiding like that, like a rat. She looked like some homeless person. And remember, she's sick, but she's not taking her medication because she's constantly worried about her children that she left behind, which if she wanted, she could have taken her children as well. But I guess she also wanted to know who will take care of her kids if she was not there. So she's watching the family, the house, the cameras are all over the house, and she's watching them. So the sister moves in permanently together with her children, and they start mistreating Aderonke's kids, as was expected. They call them names, they put the cereals high up. The son fell at this at one point, and where Ronke was, she was crying, saying, my children, I regret all of this thing, I want to go back. I'm like, why? You didn't think these things through. And she said that I did not think things through. Like, what am I doing to my children right now? So the children were so tired of being mistreated, and the brother, that is Adewale, their uncle, came for them and took them to his house. There, the wife This woman who kept borrowing money and things from this kid's mom, from Ronke, she punishes them the next day because I think the daughter peed on the mattress, and she made her carry the mattress, and it's a heavy mattress, on her head so that she can go and put it outside. Then when the brother tried to help, she told him not to and punished him by doing something. I've forgotten what it was. And so the kids ran away. And when they ran away, before they left their home, the aunt, that is Adetutu, had also kicked out the Oluchi and Johnson, the house manager and the chef. She had kicked them out, said that she didn't have money to pay them and all of these things. So before Oluchi left, she had given the kids an iPhone so that they could call her whenever they needed her help. But when they were running out, they couldn't go with it because... So they left their house because one of their cousins, one of the twins, wanted to take away their iPhone because it was an iPhone 16 and I think they had an iPhone 13 or something. They wanted to take it. And so the kids didn't want to give it. And so that's how they ended at Adewale's house. But then when they were leaving Adewale's house, they did not take their phone. They left without it. So they go to this shopping center. They find this lady who has a salon and they tell her to call Oluchi for them because she had made them cram her number. Like they had it in their head. And so they call her, they tell her where they are, they go for them, her and Johnson, because they were now living together after they left that mansion. So they go for them and Adewale comes back home, finds out that the wife kicked the kids out. Well, not kicked them, but punished them, and that made them run away. And his children decide to tell the truth. When the wife, say Gilola, goes to try and tell them not to talk, he goes like, eh. And so the daughter tells everything. And so he goes like, I want you to go and look for those kids. Because I was like, can you kick her out? She's such a leech. Kick her out until she finds those kids. So he kicks her out to go and find them. She finds out where they are at Oluchi's and she goes to get them. I don't know how she even found out where Oluchi and Johnson lived, but yeah, she goes there and she's begging them to bring the kids out so that she can take them back to her husband so that her husband can know like she found the kids. Then the husband shows up, Adewale shows up, and he is so happy that Oluchi and Johnson took care of the kids, and he's crying and he's telling them thank you and all of these things. But the wife is like, she's in trouble now because she doesn't know if she's going to be allowed to go back home with the husband or if that's the end. So the kids come out eventually. Oluchi gets them, but they refuse to go with them. They decide to stay with Oluchi and Johnson. And so the uncle says that, okay, how are they going to go to school because you live so far from their school? Johnson goes like, Oluchi says she's going to take them. It does not matter. They'll take, I don't know, there's a name that she used, but it just means the tuk-tuks, I think. And so Wale goes like, no, take my car. My sister's kids, the life that they have lived, the luxury they're used to, all the money they have, because everything their mother owned, she left it to them. He goes like, my sister's children cannot go to school with that. So here is my car keys. You take them with my car. The other sister, by the way, Adetutu, had sold all the other cars the sister had left behind, apart from one. And the one that was left, the one that used to take the children to school, Adewale had to beg her not to sell it. But then Afiz, I think that is Afiz, the driver, he had taken them. He had taken it. He was trying to steal it. He leaves the compound because when Oluchi and Johnson were fired, the Adetutu said that she was not going to fire him because she liked the way he drives and she was going to keep him on. And so he tried to run away with the car and go inside it. He even called somebody. But remember, cameras were installed everywhere, including the cars. So Ronke saw that, called Victor. Victor called the police and he was picked up. Like they switched off the car remotely and he was found on the road and he tried to say some stupid excuse, but he was arrested because of that. He was the first one who was arrested. So before the children went to Oluchi's house, the friends came to visit her, the two, Uche Montana's character and somebody else. And I don't think I said Uche Montana was in this movie, but yeah, she was. So Uche Montana's character and the other lady, I don't remember the names of the friends, and I didn't write them down. I don't know why. So they come to visit, okay, and they insist on seeing the children because the twin sisters were saying that they don't know where they are, blah 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 blah. It was after the sun had just fallen down. Yeah, and Oluchi was trying to solve that issue. Was she still in the house? Yeah, they were still in the house, just about to leave. So their friends come over and they're trying to help them. They brought them a little thing, some few things. But Uche Montana's character, she's not even there, like mentally. She's on the phone, somebody's blackmailing her. So in this moment, we find out that you remember those dead bodies that were found on the property that she was supposed to be building on? Yeah, it was her character that had hired those people, the people who had the taxi stands and blah blah, those ones had hired them to bring the bodies to try and threaten her. So the 230 million naira or 200 and something million naira that Ronke was supposed to sell to give, it was going to her. And she was supposed to distribute it amongst herself and those people. And so they were threatening her because she hadn't done the payout. And because she had died, died, and I put that in quotes, before she had paid these people. So she hadn't gotten her money. And so this poor blackmailing her. And her businesses were going to trouble. But the thing was, she always wanted to be like Aderonke, to be in her level. Like she had this business that she had put in a very expensive place instead of, renting in a cheaper place, but she was trying to, live the life that Ronke was living. And Ronke was a billionaire, I think, and she wasn't even that. So she tried to do that. So while she was talking, she leaves the house and goes outside to talk to this people on the phone, telling them, like, you cannot threaten me, blah, blah, blah. And everything that she's saying, Aderonke was hearing. She had called Victor by this time because she had seen her son fall and she was worried, blah, blah, blah. Victor was there talking to her, calming her down. And so they see this and it's like she's confessing to everything she has done. They record the CCTV footage and they send it to the police officers and they pick her up. Now, when Victor was leaving that place, going back, no, during that moment, now, while they were still in that house after this, they reported the friend, she faints because again she wasn't taking her medication and she's sick, very very sick, and so she faints and Victor rushes her to the hospital. While she's there, she's being taken care of. Victor leaves and goes home. He's on the phone with the wife and they're talking. He's giving her an update of everything that has happened. On the way, he sees this woman who's being attacked by this gang of thieves, and he leaves this car. I don't know why, but like you see it, and a damsel in distress. So he leaves the car, goes to try and help them with a bat. Like, yo, he tries to go and beat them up, but there are a lot of people. I think there were 4 or 5 or something. They fight and he beats them. Actually, he was winning at some point until one of the women who was stealing from this other woman takes out a gun and shoots him. It was on the shoulder, but apparently that killed him. So I don't know. Maybe it's because he was there, he bled out, I don't know. But yeah, he falls to the ground. And we don't see him again until later on when it is revealed that he died. When Ronke left the hospital, she went to his gravesite. After everything, she comes back. So the kids are living with Oluchi, but Adewale was like, take them back to their mother's house because that is their mother's house. So they go and they're there, they want to come in, but Adetutu is saying no. And the twins are saying no. So Adewale comes over and he forces his way. The kids go into the house. And while they're outside there arguing and nini, Aderonke comes over in a car, gets out, and everybody runs and hides because it's like they've seen a ghost. So she goes in, she talks, the kids come because the kids did not know that she was dead, again in quotes. And so they come and hug her. Mommy, where have you been? Why did you leave us alone? Blah blah blah. They talk, they cry. The mama assures them that she's okay. She was going to talk to them later. They should go upstairs to their rooms. So they do. They go and she calls, I think first it was Johnson and Oluchi who came first, and then everybody else. She asked everybody to come over. And so they sit down and she tells them that she put the cameras, like she tells them the entire plan. So of course Adetutu starts trying to gaslight her, like you put cameras, blah blah blah, you didn't trust us, nini nini. She tells her, I do not care about all of that. But yeah, she tells them each and every one of them what they did. But I love that Adewale stepped up. My God. I hadn't cried that entire movie. I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Until Adewale stepped up and the way he showed up for his sister's kids and the way he acknowledged that, we have taken advantage of our sister this entire time. She gives us money, she works, then she gets sick and she dies, and we do not take care of her children. Like, I was like, yo, everybody needs a brother like that. Well, not the first part, but like he showed growth. Well, on the other hand, Adetutu was just, and her children, they were terrible. And they're the ones who had, like, they had gotten more, they had leached more from Aderonke than anybody else. But she became this person. She even tried to sell off Aderonke's jewelry with the excuse of she needs to, to send these kids to school. They have been left money. They're not broke. So if there's hey, they are going to be okay. Why are you selling off your sister's things? She sold off the cars. She was going to sell off the jewelry and what else? So yeah, it was crazy, crazy, crazy. But anyway, she finally hugs Oluchi and Johnson because they are the ones who had taken care of her children. They had loved them even without her being there. And they were just servants in the house. But they're the ones who stepped up more. And then Adewale, of course. But, the others hadn't. So anyway, the wedding day comes because now they were rushing the movie at the end. So the wedding comes for Oluchi, now the real wedding, because the other one was a traditional wedding. This one was a wedding. And we see Oluchi thanking Aderonke for, helping her, because if it wasn't for her, she wouldn't be having like a real wedding. And so they go and people are dancing, blah, blah, blah. And the children are happy. Everybody is happy. Aderonke asked Adewale to forgive Segilola because I think he had definitely kicked her out of the home, which I was like, yeah, she deserved it. But Aderonke was like, please forgive her. And he goes like, I'll think about it, which I was like, yeah, think about it. But like, ice her out for a little bit because she needs to grow up. And when she comes back, she needs to learn some manners because you can't be doing that in someone else's home. Like, you can't do that in someone else's family. Like, I bring my sister's children to my house and my husband starts mistreating them. Mr. Man, you're going to leave. You are going to leave. I do not care. And if I'm living in your house, I live with my children and my sister's children because you cannot mistreat my... Hey, yo, that's my blood, man. You can't do that. Children pee. Like, anyway, so the movie ends with them dancing at the party, not throwing money, because apparently it is illegal to splash money in Nigeria. And at the beginning of the movie, actually, how we started were them in a party and they were spraying money, that is Adetutu and her friend, they were spraying money into the air at this party, and the police officers came to arrest them because yeah, there's a whole thing. You can read about it. I'm not going to tell you about it. You can but I had to read about it myself. So you can read about it. So it's illegal to splash money, to spray money in parties in Nigeria. So they had that tradition of giving money to wedding couples and stuff like that. Fine, you can, but you're not supposed to spray it. So in this one, they had baskets where you're going to just put the money inside, because it's a whole thing of destroying the money and blah, blah, blah. But Nigerians, the way they've worded it, makes it feel like... yeah, read about it, okay? So yeah, that's how they started. They started with the party and they ended with the party. And in that party, they were not spraying the money, they were putting it in these baskets. And yeah, that's where the movie ends. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it immensely. I did. Loved every moment of it. And I'm so glad that Funke Kindele wrote this thing. Like, it was good. It was really, really good. I've seen it in a couple of movies so far, but I don't know if that I knew she was a writer as well. So I don't know. Maybe I did. Because maybe I mentioned it during those movies, but in this one, She did an amazing job. It's a good movie. I didn't know I was going to cry because when it started, I was like just upset with Ronke, because what the hell are you doing giving these people money the way you're giving them? And they're not grateful. Because if you're giving people money and they're grateful, that's okay. If you're giving people money and they're using it for the right reasons, that's okay. But you're giving it to them and they're wasting it. I mean, because businesses I can understand. You can start a business and it fails. People have started even 10, 20 businesses and they've failed. But they have not failed because they were going to drink all that money. It started something that you believed in and it didn't go the way you wanted. Customers didn't come, you made losses, people didn't buy whatever you needed. Like my baking business, I try, but it's not working out the way I would wish it to work. So I get businesses do not always work out. Most of the businesses in the world actually, they fail within the first year or 2 years, depending on where you are, but and what it is about. That's just life, that's just the business world. But these people were taking advantage of her. And it's one thing to just help, but if you have started a business and it's working, it's bringing back money, why don't you start paying back? Because that's my thing. If I ever started a business with the help of somebody else and they started making good enough profits, I will start paying them back so that I can feel that thing of, oh, this business is now mine. Like it's finally mine. Before, it belonged to me and to that person. They were like silent partners, but I would start paying them back or just save enough to get the money that they invested in me the first time, get it all back and gift it back to them. And if they say, I'll be, this is just my way of making me feel like I now own my business because I know my mind and I know how guilty I get and stuff like that. Like right now, so much guilt because of the baking. So like I would want to do that so that it can be like mine. So that if I ever get more losses or more profits, I can be proud of it. But yeah, so they were just taking advantage of her and she was letting them. I was on with Victor and I'm so sad that Victor died because he didn't have to. Why did it have to be Victor who died? Why couldn't Adetutu die? Or one of her twin daughters? Because they were the monsters in this show. Like, why couldn't they die? Or the friends? Uche Montana's character and the other friend. But the other friend, I wasn't sure about her. She was good to the kids when Ronke died in quotes. But I don't know. We didn't see her again after she came to visit the kids. And the other one was arrested, so I don't really know. But yeah, it was a really good movie. I loved Oluchi and I loved Johnson. The costumes were great. The music was good. I love everything about this movie. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 because I just love it so much. Go and watch it and tell me if you're going to agree with me or not. Tell me if you love it the same. Tell me if you feel the emotions, especially when Adewale changes and starts, like he cried for his sister's kids. And that part broke me. Like, machozi ilikuja tu kwa macho, I was like, yo, no. I was being so strong. Even when they were harassing the kids, me with my empathetic heart, I was like, no, 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 no. I won't cry. And then Adewale showed up and stepped up and I was like, oh my God, he got me. He got me. Like, even when Ronke was crying for her children, I was like, you are the one who's stupid. You are the one who made this thing. You're the one who came up with this plan. You could have just said, no, I'm not going to help you anymore. And it could have been okay. Worked on yourself, chased everybody away, put up walls and barriers and everything. It would have been fine. But you decided to do this. And now you're crying, oh, my children. I did not feel bad for her until Adewale cried. That is the one that got me. Because I think you could feel it. The way he was talking about it, like he didn't believe his sister's children were supposed to be mistreated like that. Because of everything, every sacrifice she had made for them. And yeah, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Anyway, it was an all-round good movie. And I really urge you to go and watch it. Go to Netflix right now and watch Behind the Scenes. I don't know how it's ranked, but I believe you can watch it with kids from 13 years. The younger ones might not really understand, but it's good enough that you can watch it with a family. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed like I did. It's long though, so you have to spare some time, like 2 hours, 23 minutes. That's long. So yeah, make sure you're ready to just sit down and watch it and be happy about it because, hey, yeah, but I hope you're going to enjoy it as well. So yeah, I loved it so much. please go and watch it. After you do that, remember that I'm still baking, so please DM me on my Instagram and on my TikTok, Mimi's Musings Podcast, and tell me what you want me to bake for you, and I'll be sure to make it for you. Remember that I'm also cooking, like meal preps and stuff like that. I can come to your place, cook for you, or if you just want mandazis and or chapati, I can make them for you. If you have a little function and stuff, I can assist with that. So DM me on Mimi's Musings Podcast, Instagram, and on TikTok. Remember to follow me there as well. Here, remember to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so that whenever I upload something new, you're going to be among the first people to come and watch it. Okay?